Okay, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the city of Houston and we're going to talk about all the different resources, okay? So before you click away, let me tell you this, okay? I'm going to be covering the top 50 cities around the US, okay? And in some cases like California, Florida, New York, and Florida, which have several major cities, I'll have to make additional videos, obviously, to cover each one of those cities. The reason why you wouldn't want to just skip directly to the resource list is because there's a lot of little nuances to getting these resources that you wouldn't know. So you could visit the site, but let me tell you something. There are a lot of lists in the drawers of counselors and social workers and different professionals, and a lot of these lists are old, they're outdated. The phone numbers, people don't, they don't want to answer at these organizations. So what I've done is I've gone through and found the best of the best. So every city has a lot of resources. Okay, but the thing about it is, a lot of that stuff's just too much. It's too much trouble to go through, and it's not even worth your time and the hassle to go through that. So I'm going to be picking out the best, absolute best resources that I can verify, and then giving that over to you. We'll be covering rent, utility, food, and just about everything else you can imagine. Okay. On the website, I'm going to be publishing it on www.hudhousing.weebly.com. You can see it on your screen or your phone. It's this big pop-up right here with the blue link, okay? So let's take a look. When you get on the website, you can go down here to assistance programs and resources, and as I move through each city, you'll be able to scroll down and see all the different resources, okay? To keep this simple and not put a bunch of information in here, I'm linking all the websites and then I'll give you the content verbally and tell you what it's about, when you need to be there, what you need to prove, and how not to waste your time. If you just skip to the list and you just show up at these people's door, you're going to be there at the wrong time, the wrong day, not have the right evidence, and you're gonna turn this into a big mess for yourself. Okay. So first of all, I already have all the HUD manuals. Most people know me for that. I have a huge library of operational manuals, which are the employee manuals for HUD, COC. So you can see that directly on my website. Click the links, figure out how to get yourself higher on the list, higher ranking, higher scores. Same thing with continuum of care, which puts you in housing basically. So the first up on the list that's really important for the city of Houston is Project ID. Okay, so let's just take a quick look, and I'm going to tell you about the program. Now, let's keep in mind that with the pandemic and the virus and all this stuff, a lot of organizations are not open or they only want to communicate by phone or by email. So Project ID is downtown Houston, and what they'll do for you is if you just show up, okay, with with a letter, all you need is a letter from a homeless shelter or a counselor, and what they'll do there is they will cut a check in order for you to get your ID or your driver's license. They'll pay for it, okay? And they also give you a letter to bring down there. So you virtually need almost next to no proof in order to be able to go get your ID. Second to that, you would be returning and you would have the ability to order your birth certificate with them, with a written letter from them to whatever state, and they can get your birth certificate and they'll pay for that, okay? And then, of course, your last step on that, if you've lost everything, would be your social security card, and then it's not necessary to tell you that process, at this time. So that's a great benefit. They'll pay for that stuff. And, for about 20 years, they've been doing this in Houston, and used to you could just show up, but right now, like I said, it's pandemic time, and so I think it's by appointment only, okay? Let's skip on back and then go to the next resource here. I probably should have eyeglasses because sometimes I have a difficult time seeing my own writing on the screen here. Okay, Social Security card. Look, I just put in a quick link there so you can search for your specific closest office. Let me give you some advice about the Social Security Administration. Okay, don't waste your time trying to call those people. They'll rarely ever answer, okay? If you're going to go up there, I'm going to tell you right now, if you do not have a valid driver's license and a birth certificate in your hand, those two documents is enough to get a Social Security card. If you don't have those two documents, don't waste your time, okay? It is a federal building. Do not bring anything with you that's going to get you arrested that day, okay? They're not going to let you in that building without an ID. Any federal buildings that way, I'm just warning you. Number two, when you show up at a Social Security office, I'm going to tell you another thing. There's always a long line. How do you beat that line? Look, if the building opens at 9, you need to be there at 8. If you show up an hour early from the time they open, you're likely to be the first 5 to 10 people, okay? And when you do that, your day is only going to last an hour or two. Everybody else that likes to just show up at lunch and think they're the first one that thought they were going to get a card today, that they're the only person to show up, are crazy. And they end up being there the entire day. An hour early, hour 15 minutes early, before they turn on the light bulbs, be out there, hold your spot in line, and you'll do just fine, okay? And I'm speaking from the big city life. I don't know how the lines are if you're living out in a small city, okay? And if you can get to a Social Security Administration that's obviously farther away from the metro area, you'll probably do better as well. Food stamps, that's always an evolving game, and it goes by many different names, but most people know it by food stamps or SNAP. Look, that's a quick direct link to apply. Look, guys, traditional method still works very well, okay? That means just showing up at the food stamp office. A lot of people like to do things online. Let me tell you something. You're doing all that, and really, you can pre-fill out all that stuff. They're not going to approve anything until you show up, okay? What are they looking for at the food stamp office? Every state has a way to get a income verification, okay? You type in the words income verification in Google, and every city in the nation is going to have a place where you present them with an ID and a social security card, and they will print out what you've been making up to this point, okay? Document number one, ID, social security, and then if you have a complex life with a husband, all the children, all the bills, you need to have a copy of every single bill that you have. Start with your mains, so you're going to be your rent, car notes, electric, and go ahead and stop by the bank and get your statement from there. If you're on Social Security, make sure that you can log in where the worker can see that, or bring any paperwork you have available, okay? Without that, you will make multiple trips. Food stamp office really doesn't have much of a line in most cases because most people do it online now, okay? So actually, these days, if you show up at a food stamp office, they're typically kind of empty, especially if you show up during midweek, early morning, okay? So just make sure you have all your paperwork ready to go. And then I did a video on food stamps. If you want to take a look at it on my YouTube channel, just type in food stamps and then you'll find it. And it'll help you set yourself up for more success because you don't want to go back multiple times. Utility assistance. I already have an entire page, okay? Every city and state across the nation has a program which they work with a electric company. These are not discounts, okay? The utility assistance is countered by federal grants, which means, in other words, you can get up to like 80% off your electric depending on your income, your situation, or disability. So if you want to click that link, it'll bring you directly inside the website. It'll tell you what you need to do, who you need to contact, who to email. This is all accurate information. These are not discount scams that everybody's doing. Like some off-brand electric company, where you can get it for 8 cents a month until the 6th month, and then it goes up to 98 cents. That's a joke. If you want an actual federal grant paying for your utilities, use that link, call the actual companies, quit playing around with all these advertisements because that's the fastest way to get your butt scammed. Okay, let's talk about legal assistance. It's called legal aid or legal assistance. You type that in Google in any city, you're likely to find legal aid, okay? And you know where you can get that mostly free? The internet's a wonderful thing, but when it comes to legal aid, lawyers tend to hide, okay? They don't really like giving their time out for free. So where can you find a decent pool of lawyers? Anytime you have a homeless shelter or a what they call a drop-in center for the homeless, you'll always find legal aid there because they're mandated by their own law degree to give those hours. So they're not going to ever advertise that those guys are hanging out. So for the city of Houston, we go to legal aid, and let's just take a look at that. There's a lot of benefits with this, okay? So as you can see right now, they're only conducting appointments over the phone. So you can just drop in, and when the virus is gone, they'll go back to that. Okay, so they can fight your landlords. They can help you. They can help you with everything but criminal stuff. Okay, so they won't deal with your wedding. They won't deal with divorce or criminal. Okay, everything else they'll help you with. Okay, and so you won't have any legal costs. Now the other option is go on Google, and then you have a lot of lawyers that like to advertise, and it's all bullshit. They're not really going to do anything for you or even return your call. They're only looking for certain cases and all that. At least when you go to law centers that have their lawyers show up at a homeless, not an encampment but a drop-in center where homeless people go, you're guaranteed to get the real deal. And like I said, they'll never advertise that. Let's back it up. Healthcare. Look, a lot of gambits with that. Anybody who's dealt with Houston, we are the epicenter of medical care. However, some of those horrendous care you'll ever get in your life is when they figure out you're homeless or low income out here, then the quality of care goes down the toilet real quick. I dealt with that in every city while I was homeless, and let me tell you, once they figure out you don't have any change in your pocket, they move you to let me treat you like shit. So let me tell you about two places that are not well known that have excellent and superior health care. Now, everybody has heard about the Gold Card in Houston. A lot of cities have these county programs where they give you a card. It's just for the homeless, and then the magic comes into it by when they tell you, yeah, you can book an appointment. It takes about 6 months, and then we'll send you to a veterinarian, not even a doctor. So you're stuck in a room with a bunch of people you can't stand. A doctor can't stand you, and then it's just a really long, miserable process. And then you got to make several trips to apply. The alternative to it, and this is how you know that I'm always very in tune with what's going on. I know where these resources are that most people don't know. First up, let's visit one of the best ones. I'm gonna click it real quick, and then we'll take a look. Healthcare for the homeless, okay? Look, it's by referral only, so you'll have to go to a hub in order to get that, okay? And I'll explain that later. Look, these guys cover everything. If you can get into this organization, it's by invitation or referral. It's excellent. You get your medical care for free, your prescriptions for free, your eyeglasses for free, your mental care for free, your mental pills, and I mean the list just keeps on going. If you're missing if you smoke crack for 15 years and burn, all your teeth are gone, they'll fix that too. That, however, they're more cautious with. They want to make sure that if they're going to invest a lot of money in your mouth putting new teeth, that you're on an appropriate trajectory to return to a normal life. They're not going to deal with people that simply want new teeth but are still out here going to abusing drugs and everything. So I'm just telling you that with anything there is a process that you're going to need to prove yourself. So I'd say healthcare for homeless is a lot better deal than any gold card and dealing with Harris County Health and all that garbage. Okay, it's a lot better. The appointments and the people there actually care. Let me tell you another one that's really top notch. Okay, so we're gonna skip back, and here we go. This one isn't. This one is a little bit of a secret. Well, I went back to the same place. Did I actually link it to the same one twice? Uh, 1 minute. Okay, well, apparently I put the wrong link, so I'll have to correct that. So, the name of the place is going to be the Montrose Clinic. So you type it in Montrose Clinic. It's tucked away in a neighborhood that is largely a gay neighborhood next to downtown, and the Montrose Clinic's been around for about 20 years. That particular clinic, it's a brand new spanking building. You have some of the best doctors you'll ever meet. Same rules apply. If you don't have any money, they won't make you pay money. Really, the building looks like something out of the 25th century. I mean, it's really, really nice. People are nice. They're respectable. It's run by top health professionals. Um, Once they prescribe medications to you, you typically either get it free or for next to nothing. I have nothing but good things to say about it because it's tucked away off of the Westheimer and Montrose at the corner there, kind of tucked away. A lot of people don't realize it's there. I think that a lot of the Hispanic community has figured it out. I do see a lot more people going there from the Hispanic community, but I would say I would rank it number one. It's actually even better than going to most regular hospitals. It's about 6, 7 floors, and I think that you'll find that the quality of care there is very impressive. For those of you that do make an income, the worst or biggest doctor bill that I ever saw come out of the bill is $50. Look, when's the last time, even with the Affordable Care Act, you could actually even see a doctor for $50, okay? And still walk out paying $1 for a prescription. So it is definitely worth your time to check that place out. I have nothing but great things to say about it, okay? And it sure beats the hell out of hanging out in the ERs. All right, I'm going to go on back, and I got to remember to fix that link. Dental care. So you have two options here, okay? So we already talked about homeless care. Let's see, that's a homeless healthcare org. So you already know about that by invitation or getting a referral there. They're really, really good. And then the next is going to be, let's have a look. So you have freedental.org. Okay, they're an excellent resource for finding sliding scale centers. Okay, here's all the different places. Okay, it probably won't be a premium experience, and they may charge you a few dollars, but let me tell you, it sure beats the hell out of paying 150 to 750 to fix your dental problems. A lot of these locations, uh, you know, they charge next to nothing, and so hey, if you're having dental problems, I would definitely check out the list and see whether or not. And so they have, let's see, 12 locations in Houston, 9 in Lubbock, 6 in El Paso, 6 in Austin, 5 in Waco, and 5 in Dallas. So it is definitely worth it. If you ever have an emergency with dental care, go out there and handle it. Look, for you guys that like to abuse pain pills, don't even try it, okay? They're not going to go for it, okay? So if you go in there for drug seeking behavior and any of the places I'm going to be referring you to, they're not going to write you narcotics. Just turn around and then take your hustle somewhere else, okay? Because my video is not here to support your drug habit. It's here to help people that need the help, all right? All right, let's move on to the next. I've got to find a more comfortable way to do this because I've got a mouse on my leg basically doing this. Okay, eye care. Okay, so again, we're gonna be going back to homeless.org. Now let me tell you something, guys. You know, I keep saying homeless. You don't need to be homeless. Homeless are low income. Their primary audience is normally homeless people. If you're just simply low income and you have a place to live, that's fine, okay? You don't have to click away and go, oh, well, shit, I'm not homeless. That doesn't matter. It only matters that you're not making a lot of money, which means all these places that are sliding scales are absolutely free. I'm going to make some shelter recommendations, okay, for you guys. Those of you that are going to end up having to deal with that situation. The one that I have found out of all the years that I've ever known this city is going to be a place called Open Door Mission. Sorry, ladies, this is going to be for men only. This place is run like a tight ship. It is one of the cleanest places you'll ever go in your life. They staff professional people. The dormitories are spotless. I mean, the whole operation is pretty much spotless. Okay. The teachers that teach there are okay, a little bit redundant, but you'll never get this kind of care at normal shelters, okay? And it's just for men there, privately funded, and I would rank it 9 out of 10. And let me tell you, most shelters, in my opinion, that I've seen across the country, don't even get a 2 or 3. This place is top notch. Okay, so we're gonna kick it down a notch, and we're gonna talk about the Star Hope. Look, when it comes to big cities and shelters, they're usually gonna be mega shelters, all right? Open Door Mission is not a mega shelter, it's smaller, but the big one obviously out here is going to be the Open Door Mission and, sorry, Star Hope. Everybody knows a Star Hope, better known as a Star of Desperation. Look, it is what it is. But, you know, the thing about it is, you know, I would rank them around a 4 or 5 when it comes to shelters. They have both a women's shelter for women and children, and then they have a men's shelter. It's survivable, you know. Let me tell you something. If you really want to be shocked and feel unsafe, I would probably say go to a shelter in Atlanta because that's probably the worst shelter I've ever been in my life. I'm not saying that all shelters in Atlanta, Georgia, are bad, but that has got to have been one of the most horrible places I've ever been a long time ago. Anyways, the Star Hope is what it is. You know, I made a video about homelessness today. It's worth looking at it so you get a certain understanding of how these shelters operate. But if you're a male or female, Star Hope for men, Star Hope for women, you can look them up on the website here. They give you a decent opportunity to turn your life around, and if you want to find Jesus, you know, he may be in the building, okay? Now let's move on back down the list. Look, guys, there's nothing I want to tell you about. These go by a lot of different names, okay? After traveling 20 states and been homeless in 7 cities, I learned they go by a lot of different names. So they're called resource hubs, day centers, drop-in centers, and navigation centers. Just depends on the state and the city, okay? But those are the 4 typical names they call them. It's basically a building that pools all of the resources for low income and homeless into one building. And they're definitely the powerhouse of every community when it comes to being able to access everything, okay? These people are going to have counselors in place. You can often get food stamps on the spot, walk out with a card. The same rules that would apply at the food stamp office as all the paperwork probably wouldn't apply there because their expectation is that you're homeless. Just like I told you about Project ID, you know, the rules of getting an ID when you're homeless are what you have to prove is very little compared to walking into a D&B. The rules all of a sudden change when they know you're homeless. They just know you don't have anything. So they lower the standard almost to a point that it can be exploited. To be frank with you, but let's talk about the first one, Search. Um, Search is an excellent organization. It certainly has its problematic employees, but I can tell you one thing about Search. Of course, they're going to pop a big donation symbol. Look, guys, they got everything there. Once you get there, this is considered a COC location, all right? So the continuum of care is there. They can get you housed, find you a place to rent, to live. They can pay deposits. You can find lawyers there. So you can get food stamps there. You can get referrals for eyeglass, health care. Everything under the moon is in that building, and plus they serve really good food. And what I mean by really good and homeless standards would be that the food they serve there is unlike most shelters. It's not a bunch of donated garbage. Since they are federally funded, they buy fresh food and cook it. And so even the volunteers love to sit down and eat there, okay? It's just a really good resource. You should always be on your best behavior when you deal with a hub or a resource center, because these people are actually genuinely interested in helping you at these locations. It is different than dealing with all the bullshit at a shelter, okay? So let me tell you the next big resource hub in the community that's really, really good, okay? I'll back it up. Everybody that's ever been out in the streets is going to know the Beacon. The Beacon has been around a long time, okay? They have a lot of great resources. And from my understanding currently, I believe that the Beacon and Search and Catholic Charities have all now combined into one mega building. And so you get the entire system of resources throughout basically a one block area near downtown Houston. So you should always, pack a lunch or even eat lunch while you're there, because they have everything. Let me give you some advice with dealing with these resource centers, okay? You're going to deal with a little bit of everything, okay? So you're going to deal with homeless people being there. You're going to deal with volunteers, normal people, professionals, women with screaming children. You're going to deal with people who look like they're drug addicts. You're going to smell funky smells. You may hear and see things that look a little bit strange. It's all part of the deal, okay? So if you can't handle shit like that, you're always welcome to go broke by yourself, and then you'll learn that you'll come back to reality and then humble yourself, and then you'll be able to find these resources there. Look, they're for anybody that's low income, okay? Don't ever let your pride get a hold of you, because there's a big difference between somebody cutting your rent check and then you having to go struggle all week to scratch that money up. Same thing with all these things that they're paying for. These systems are designed and in place for you to support you, to help you out while you get on your feet. There are what I call resource hustlers. These are the people that simply want to remain on welfare and they just work the system constantly. I have no appreciation for people like that. One thing I teach you guys is giving you the manuals and the ability to go out and get all these resources, but I am not out here trying to teach you how to permanently become part of a system, okay? If you want to use it to its full ability to get you up off your feet and bring you up a little bit, I think that's great. If you're going to use my resources just to become the welfare king of North Houston or South Houston, then forget it. I don't even want you looking at I don't want you watching my videos, because that's not what this is about. So yeah, I hope that helps. And this is what you should expect for every city that I'm going to be doing. I looked at it all, and I think that once you roll through the list and go down there and do what you have to do, get in line, check out the resources, I think you'll find that it's a quite impressive list, and it's a lot different than the homeless help cards they hand out that send you all over downtown, all over Houston, looking for things that don't exist or not accepting applications. Everything that is on my list is verified and ready to go. Look, guys, I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.